not that one. Get one of these barbaric bands. Now the thing you gotta know about maging is it's gonna have 3 different outcomes when you put a rune on. You first have to know the power of each rune. Now there's a site called www.forgemagi.net. You need to use Google Chrome so you can translate it to English, and where you want to go is click on Guide FM. When you click on this, you scroll down to this part, this section here. It shows you the powers of each rune and the maximum you can get, the limits you can get for the stat. So for stats, right, one of these runes, one of these +1 runes is 1 power. So a raw int would be 10 power. And let's just go back here. Now I've got a raw int right here, and that's 10 power. Now when you're trying to overmage stats, say if you want something like this. Hold on a sec. If you want to get something, this is missing crits, but say if this wasn't missing crits, you want to get 300 vitality, 100 agility, like close to maximum, 101 is maximum, and 300 vitality, including the rest of the stats you need, like resistances and AP res and stuff like that. The thing you gotta know is find an item with the with high power, like MP, AP, range, or just start off with MP or AP first. Now AP rune is 100 power and MP is 90 power. Now since the boots have MP, that's 90 power, and when the AP drops off after using a rune, you would have to do. Let's just open up Notepad real quick. When the MP drops off, the thing you get is 3 outcomes. You can have failure and it won't have anything, or you can have failure minus sync, I think. Yeah, you can have failure minus sync, failure minus 1 MP plus sync, or you can have like other stats drop off. Now when the MP drops off, right, you're gonna have, since the power of the rune is 90, or MP equals 90, you're gonna have 90 power of free maging. In other words, people call this sync. They call it they would call it 90 power of plus sync. Okay. Now in simple terms, you can just call it free maging. What free maging is, you can add any rune you want without having anything drop off on your item. So you can have 90 power. So if you look at the chart here, you can add 9. Let's say raw intel is 10 power, right? Because 1 int equals 1 power. Now you can add 9 raw intelligence. Because you have this 90 power free maging, you can add 9 raw intelligence without having anything drop off. Now the thing about this is, what you want to do, say if your Automite amulet, say this for instance, had 86, oh wait, let's say 76 intelligence, and the AP just dropped off, right? So you get -1 AP, which equals to plus 100 sync. Now you're gonna get 100 power of free maging. Okay. Now with this 100 power, you can use 9 raw intelligence, but since it's at 76, you can also mage the other stats back to perfect. Say if you're missing wisdom, you can add like +3 wisdom, and +3 wisdom equals to 9 power, and that would minus that off of your 100 power. So 100 power minus 9 equals to 91. So you have 91 power left, unless it's a crit success. And by crit success means it lands, your +3 wisdom lands without having minus sync. Usually it lands and it has minus sync at the end of it, like this. But if it doesn't have this minus sync at the end of it, that means you critical successed it, meaning that you don't lose any power, meaning that you would still have your 100 power of free maging. Okay, now once you've gotten your other stats to perfect, you're sitting on 76 intelligence, right? And let's say you only had 80 power, or let's say 70 power left of free maging. So 70 sync left. Now you want to get this to 86 intelligence using 1 plus raw intelligence. So once that gets to 86 intelligence, you want to drop it back to 81. The reason why you want to do this is because the max intelligence of an item is 101 intelligence. Now to get it to 101, you want to get a water damage rune, because elemental damage runes is 5 power. So you want to drop it by 5. So by dropping it by 5, you get it down from 86 to 81. Now, since this is 5 power and 5 intelligence int equals 5 power, that's how you drop the power. And whatever overmage you have, say if your intelligence is overmaged, so it's greater than 81, it's greater than 80. If you have overmage intelligence that's over 80, that means the overmage stat will always drop when you add a different kind of rune. If you add the same rune, it won't drop unless you run out of the sync. So if you still have sync left and you use a different kind of rune, then your overmage stat will drop. So once you drop it back to 81, you're gonna have to do once you drop it back to 81, if you lose more sync, so say if it's minus sync when it drops, then you must deduct 5 minus 5 by the free maging that you have left. And the free maging you have left would be 70 minus 5, 70 minus 5, yeah, minus 5. Okay, so that would equal to 65 power of free maging. Once you have 65 power of free maging, you must divide raw int. So 10, 65 divided by 10, which equals to 6.5. That means you have 6.5 raw int chances to land, to get this up from 81 to 101. Now you need 2 out of the 6 to land to get it to 101. The thing about this is, just remember that the AP is still not on the item. So the AP isn't on this auto amulet right now. Okay. Now you can try to get it to 101, or you can just make it go back down to 80 and get it to 100. But if you want 101, then this is how you're gonna get it. So the AP is still not on the item. You're gonna add the AP on last. So you're gonna have a 2 in 6 shot at getting this intelligence to 101. And if you successfully do this, then once it gets to 101, you want to add the AP back on. Now there's going to be 2 outcomes, oh wait, 3 outcomes actually. It's going to critical success, and your AP will land. It will be +1 AP, and it will have nothing at the end of it. The next outcome would be +1 AP and -100 intelligence. The reason why you lose 100 intelligence is because the intelligence is overmaged right now. And remember when I said if your intelligence, if something is overmaged, then you try to add another rune, then the overmage will drop by the power of the rune that you added. So 100 intelligence equals to 100 power, and that also equals to 1 AP. So when you add 1 AP, then you're gonna lose 100 intelligence. That is when you successfully land, but you have this. It's not a crit success, but it is a success because it landed. Now the worst thing that can happen is critical failure. Now when this happens, you're gonna lose 100 intelligence without adding no AP back on. That's the worst thing that can happen. So there's gonna be 3 outcomes here. There's gonna be +1 AP, or +1 AP and -100 intelligence, or it's gonna be you're gonna lose 100 intelligence and there's no AP going back on. And if this happens, if this first thing happens, that means your item is completed, and you're gonna get something like this, or you're gonna get something like this: close to perfect stats and 100 intelligence. So that's it there. But if this happens, you're gonna have to repeat the process again and wait for the AP to drop. If this happens, then you have to put the AP back on straight away and start maging the stats back up and repeat the process again. Now the reason why I add AP on last is because people normally add AP back on straight away. You still get the sync if it crits success. You still get that 100 power sync, but I feel like it can go. It's a lot easier to land runes if the AP is off the item. Say there's an item with 600 power of runes of stat. Let's just say stat. Okay, there's 600 power of stat on one of these, like let's say Shylock ring with 600 power. When the range comes off, that's -51 power. If you look at the website here, range is 51 power somewhere here. Yeah, here. So that's 51 power. So you have like 549 power, and the less power I feel like the less power the item has, the better chance of like getting the stat back up. See, if you look at my Shylock ring, I got it to 101 from 75 intel, and I got max vitality, I got the range and the fire damage. The other stats I didn't really need, so I didn't really care for, but yeah. And I think that pretty much covers overmaging. So there's a couple of things you really need to know, like dropping stat. The thing about vitality, say if you had 316 vitality, right? But the max vitality is 300 vitality max, and you're over by 16. 0.75 equals to 1 power. So if you one intel, it equals 4 vitality. So if the intel is foreign to the, if the intel is actually exotic to the item, so, and this is an overmage, you can use ×4 intel runes to drop vitality by 16. The reason why you do that is if you had let's say 286 vitality, and you wanted your vitality higher, and the only way you can do that is to add a plus vitality rune. In other words, plus raw vitality rune onto this item. That means it would equal to 316. But also, you haven't finished maging your other stats. Say if you had missing damage like 14 out of 16 damage, then you still have to get that back up. And you haven't finished, you just wanted to get your vitality max before you add more damage runes. The reason why you don't add damage runes is 1 damage rune equals to 5, oh wait, not damage rune but elemental damage. Damage rune equals to 5 power. The normal damage runes equals to 20 power, so don't get that mixed up. Yeah, if you add the 5 power rune on, you're gonna lose more vitality than you actually want if it's 316. So if it was 316 and you added 1 element damage on, then you're gonna lose, then your vitality is gonna drop back down to 296, because that is 1 power per 1 power equals 4 vital. Okay, so what you want to do is, since the damage rune is 5 power, so 5 power equals to 20 vitality. So it will drop by 20. That's the reason why. And when it drops by 20, you're not gonna get the max vitality you want. And that's how I max vitality on like this and like, you can manipulate the item to get the max vitality you need, and that's how you get max vitality on your item. And you're not always gonna get max vitality. Maybe you take a different route and you get the AP sync or MP sync just when you need it, and your vitality is already pretty good, so you don't bother with it. But you can also do this when you have that plus 100 sync or plus 190 sync of power of free maging. So the things you want to start off with when you first start off maging is note that range, MP, AP are good starts to over maging an item because they have so much power. AP is 100, MP is 90, range is 51. The next would be crits, summons, and heals. Now heals is 20, same as damage as well, but not much items have damage anymore, just elemental damage, which is only 5 power. Now heals is 20 power, summons is 30 power, and crits is 30 power. Now sometimes I drop heals in order to mage better on my items. This sword here only has 2 crits. I have other items where I drop crits as well, and that pretty much covers overmaging and syncs and room powers. Now the next video I'm gonna do about exotic maging, and exotic maging with like tri-exos, dual exos, and basic exos and stuff like that, or like crit res exos, stuff like that. Yeah, this also applies to crit res. See, Lethal Line's Cloak, normally 12 crit res is average, like 12 crit res it's doable, but 15 is absolutely like over the top if it's an exotic crit res mage. Now the reason why this happened is I put on the MP on last. I didn't put on back straight away, and that's why I feel like it can go higher if you put on the MP last, whereas if you put on the MP first, then I feel like it would have gone to 12 or 9, something around there. It wouldn't have gone to 15, and I managed just to get this close to perfect with max reses and 10 dodge and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.